Hello everyone, and welcome to my Y&R Homies channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. After starting a new plot against the Abbotts, Victor shuts Kyle down. The young and the restless today, Victor places Kyle on notice, Jack worries about the renovation, and Daniel investigates Summer. Diane tells Jack in the jazz lounge that they've needed time together to block out the outside world's worries. She asks if he's at ease. He acknowledges that her intentions to demolish the Abbott homestead are making him anxious. She questions how she may persuade him to set aside his concerns and take pleasure in their time together. Diane gives him a kiss. Jack needs more of those, he's trying. They make out. Diane informs Jack that she has been looking through old product archives. To resell them at a premium price, they only require an ingenious new marketing approach. Abbott Classic has the ability to attract both new and nostalgic customers. Jack isn't listening when she asks what he thinks. He must be aware of the house's expectations. Why won't he trust her on this? Diane asks. All Jack wants to know is what she's thinking of. Diane assures him that he will adore it. Something this significant being cloaked in secrecy bothers Jack. She promised to keep him updated on the situation. Perhaps this is just a huge error. Diane inquires as to whether he truly wants her to cancel. She tells him that the improvements are already underway and that it would be enjoyable. He is dragged onto the dance floor by her. Following the dance, Jack expresses his admiration for Diane's strategy of reviving the vintage goods. Diane is thrilled as he exclaims that the concept is as audacious and bright as his wife. Diane informs her husband that he has excellent taste. For her, getting his approval is crucial. Jack is certain that she would blend in well with Abbott Classic. It's nice to see the family and Abbott back where they belong. Victor was unable to take that away from them either. Diane finds it difficult to accept that Victor and Jack are no longer at war. Jack refuses to be alarmed. He refuses to provide him with the fulfillment. Diane inquires as to whether he is not concerned that he may bring Claire and Kyle troubles. Jack believes they can deal with old Grumpy. Diane wishes she could have such mindset. Jack believes that Kyle has become stronger and wiser as a result of learning some valuable lessons. Summer says she was going to contact Kyle after he enters society. They contrast the teacher's remarks about Harrison's diorama. He ensured that everyone was aware that they collaborated as a family on it. They concur that it was quite important to them as well. It was enjoyable. He's waiting for Claire and Victor, Summer finds out. It seems like he's not coming by himself. Nikki will be accompanying them. Sounds like a big deal, says Summer, looking a little surprised. According to Kyle, Claire wants Nikki there to act as a buffer. Her grandparents' consent is not required. Summer informs him that her grandfather expresses his ideas in a variety of ways. She observes that when they were together, he had no issues. She is also his grandchild. The fact that Victor has changed his mind doesn't concern Kyle. He is merely preparing the meal for Claire. It won't make a difference for him and Claire if Victor rejects him. Daniel shows up to greet Summer as Kyle leaves. Is everything okay? Her brother says. Daniel can see that something is upsetting Summer despite her insistence that everything is okay based on the way she's staring at Kyle. Is it possible that Kyle is going to meet Claire and her grandparents there, wonders Summer. Their time is being wasted. He will not embrace Kyle like he did throughout their time together. She doesn't understand why Kyle is going to such lengths for her. Daniel is not going to believe this for even a moment. Summer tells her brother that she doesn't feel envious. She regrets how cruelly her grandfather has treated Kyle. She doesn't want Claire to add fuel to the fires. If Kyle and the former nanny keep going in this direction, he's inviting further difficulties. Daniel informs Summer that she is currently exuding mom emotions. Gawps in the summer. Even though she adores their mother, she cringes when she receives a bone kick on one of her dogs. Daniel is hoping that the warning will be sufficient to hold Summer accountable. Has Summer heard from Phyllis? He asks. He has not received a response to his calls or texts. She inquires as to if this relates to Billy's employment offer. Daniel claims that he agreed to it. Victor praises Michael for visiting the property. Being trusted once more makes Michael joyful. Victor claims that Jordan returned to threaten his family since he and Cole allowed her to leave his cage. Michael claims that keeping an eye on his back was his duty. Victor claims that Ian Ward had the opportunity to kill him as well, but he chose to remain with the family. Thank you for that. Michael wouldn't have left him behind. Victor claims that because they are no longer involved, he must carry out the next part of his strategy, which is to use Jabbo to target Jack Abbott. Michael seems uneasy. Michael is asked by Victor if the Glissade employees he hired are integrated into Jabbo. Although he pays him to keep him out of legal trouble, Michael acknowledges that they are there waiting to carry out his orders. Victor is unwilling to listen to it. In one way or another, he will carry out his intentions. Michael queries Victor on if he is certain he wants to go through on this. Kyle, Diane, and Jack will be harmed. They haven't suffered enough, adds Victor. I'll make a decision once the Abbotts have endured enough pain, Victor screams. You got it. He yells that during the revelry in the hotel room, Jack almost murdered Nikki. Are you with me? Always, says Michael. Victor wants him to learn about the new things that Jabbo has to offer. He will then come up with his plan. Michael leaves as Claire enters, vowing to get the date for his employer. Claire gives her grandfather a kiss and inquires as to if they were involved in a significant event. Business, he responds. Claire proposes that they all take a car together to travel to society. According to Victor, Nikki will be late. He will not pledge to be forgiving of Kyle. Claire requests that he refrain from questioning her partner too much. Smiling, Victor says, you never know. Diane and Jack kiss and slow dance at the jazz lounge. He gives her credit for a wonderful evening. Diane makes fun of him by bringing up demolition, paint, and hammers. He wonders if a stroll or supper would be more appropriate. They could go up to their suite and play around, Diane offers. Jack yanks her from the living room. In their suite, Diane and Jack make love. This redo, this refresh, this zooz, whatever you're calling it, does it involve bulldozers? Jack wants to ask again after the fact. Diane makes the decision to be honest. She wants to make one significant adjustment. I would like to replace that old, heavy front door with a more modern one. Like at Jabbo Classic, she aims to create retrocurrent. She suggests a rotating door. Haha, you got me again, scoffs Jack. He will stop talking about the house. Diane will distract him from the tears. That's not funny, he says. They begin kissing. Daniel is shocked that Phyllis hasn't informed Summer about his joining Abbott Communications at Society. He said that they made a fantastic pitch and that he was able to specify his ideal role. He is thrilled and eager to collaborate with them on ideas. He could have needed the change. Summer is thrilled that her brother has a new area of interest. According to Daniel, Lucy appeared more relaxed and was ecstatic as well. Summer observes that part of his internal conflict is fading. Lucy is sobbing less and finding new friends, Daniel reports to his sister. She can now stop worrying so much about him. Summer believes Heather's power is coming from above. But she is worried about one thing. Daniel assumes Billy is being challenging. Summer talks about how he and Mom can work together without making each other crazy. Daniel is sure they can succeed. At Chancellor Winters, they got along well. Summer is concerned because they are now in unfamiliar land. Daniel doesn't care. It sounds almost too wonderful to be true, in Summer's opinion. Claire enters at the same moment. Daniel advises Summer to follow his example of optimism and hope. After giving Summer a kiss, Victor asks Daniel how he and Lucy are doing. Victor and Claire join Kyle in the bar after exchanging handshakes. Victor gives Kyle a handshake. Claire informs them that Nikki will be late, and Kyle leads them to their table. Summer, who is observing, is informed by Daniel across the room that she is once more exuding Phyllis vibes. She claims that she is only observing Kyle's seeming misery. If she isn't envious, Daniel queries why she cares. He promotes the menu specials at Kyle's table. He should cut out the small chat and get down to the subject, Victor advises. Summer informs Daniel across the room that she is worried since Kyle is the father of her son. Her grandfather will stop at nothing to achieve his goals. Harrison may suffer if he harms Kyle. This isn't romantic. When Daniel sees anything, he calls it that. According to Summer, they are both aware that Victor will ruin their life. My grandfather does it. Harrison will feel the stress as it seeps down to him. She is reminded by Daniel that the child is difficult. Summer's responsibility is to keep her son safe. She shares with her brother how delighted he was to see his parents together the other day. She doesn't want him to worry about anything else now that he feels safe. Daniel continues to wonder if she feels anything for Kyle. Summer claims that her grandfather is cruel. If Lucy were Harrison, would he not be concerned? He tells Kyle how protective he is of his family at Victor's table. He will assume that he won't harm Claire in the same way that he affected his other grandchild. Although he acknowledges that Kyle wasn't solely responsible for his marriage dissolution, he is aware that the Abbott family will soon experience another breakdown and does not want his other granddaughter to be affected by the consequences. According to Kyle, that is speculation. It isn't, Victor responds. Kyle is adamant that his family is one.